this is Dodger and you're watching my show. So I'm still sick, but I made it back here safe and there were no ants in my room. A+. Also, I'm back with my super fantastical fancy computer, which means that I can play more Call of Cthulhu and scream like a little boy. So first quick thing is that World of Goo is finally out for Android devices. Any of you who have an Android device and you've been like, God, I want to play World of Goo so bad. Now you have the opportunity, but they are giving you the option of a free version or a purchase version, and they suggest that you do the free version first because they don't know, like, there are so many different Android devices that the possibility that it won't run very well on some versus others is pretty decent. So make sure that you get the free version first, and then if it works great, then get the other version. Next thing is that Skyrim is the first Western game ever to get a perfect 40 out of 40 score in Famitsu magazine. Japan typically is not super excited about Western games, and typically Western games, if they come close, they're like 1 point away. It's like, oh, we gave them a 39 out of 40, and you're like, what? So games like, I think Grand Theft Auto 4 and Gears of War 3 got 39s out of 40s, but Skyrim got a 40 out of 40. Pretty excellent. Joining the ranks with Zelda Ocarina of Time and Nintendogs. I know, just saying it really makes it so that it feels less legitimate, but I swear it's like kind of a big deal. So next thing is that in Mass Effect 2, so there was supposed to be like another plot that had to do with more Citadel missions, and they decided to scrap it. Like they just decided to take it out of the game entirely. And then with Mass Effect 3, they were like, hey, maybe we could put that back in there. It's pretty sweet because I feel like very rarely do game developers get to like cut something out of a game and then be able to utilize it in the next game. I mean, you took the time to make this extra plot and then you had to throw it away. That had to have made your heart hurt a little bit. So being able to be like, this work wasn't in vain. Very cool. Also very cool that we get to play it in Mass Effect 3. Heck yeah! And then maybe we get to see all of the little praying mantis grasshopper peoples with their little backpacks and their little bit. Not even my own mom will probably be able to understand that, so don't feel bad. Okay, ridiculous thing of the day. Do you guys remember way back, we were talking about how they were starting to put urinal games in men's bathrooms in Japan. They're just like weird little games, and like the way that you pee and where you pee helps your little character in the game do different things. It's very weird. But it's one of those things that, you know, you read about and you go, oh, Japan, and then you just kind of move on. So now, there's a British pub that now has these exact same games in the men's restroom. It's awesome because the dude who owns the pub was like, yeah, I figured, you know, I'd bring them in because, you know, maybe it'll get me some more customers. That is the most bizarre way to try to get more customers. So bizarre. And yes, a little piece of me is kind of offended because they only go in men's bathrooms. I'm not going to legitimately complain about that though, because I can't for the life of me think of a way to make women's bathrooms into some sort of a game. Final piece of news, anybody who is excited about Final Fantasy Type 0 and was sad because they were talking about possibly not bringing it over to the West, they actually are going to be making it international, it sounds more like now. That was possibly the most convoluted way I could have said that. The way that we know this is that there was actually an interview that was leaked that had to do with Square Enix talking about making an international version and having a team working on an international version. So, I mean, that's pretty legit. I would assume that there's going to be an international version after that. I mean, I understand why they were thinking about not making an international version because the PSP hasn't been selling nearly as well everywhere else as it has sold in Japan. So they were like, well, are people actually going to buy it?
But I would like to play Type 0. It looks like a very good game, so hopefully they make it international so that I can play it.
Another quick question, just out of curiosity, is I have a couple of friends who are in the Star Wars beta right now. Some of them think that it's just, you know, okay, and some of them think that it's actually a really good MMO, and I was wondering, I know there have to be some of you that are in the beta right now, so you should tell me what you think about the beta so far, because I've heard, you know, this side and this side. So I'm curious to see what the general population is feeling about it right now. But other than that, that is my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or a negative response, feel free to leave it in the comment section. And if you want to have coffee with me, you can click where I put the annotation and it'll take you to my other channel. I am feeling much better. Still definitely sick, but feeling much better. So hopefully by Friday when I make my next video, I will be right as rain and we can have all sorts of lols and shenanigans together. But otherwise, I hope that you guys have a great night night, and I will talk to you guys again on Friday. Okay, bye-bye.
A little bit,